Hey everyone! As the old saying goes, you can't judge a book by its cover. So you can't judge this next movie by its film title, or its original poster art, which was used for the recent Blu-ray release for that matter. It's the 1937 Screwball mystery, Murder in Greenwich Village, starring Richard Arlen and Wray. Now, one evening, photographer Steve Havens Jackson Jr., Richard Arlen, spies Kay Lucky Cabot, Wray, climbing down a fire escape in someone else's pajamas. Now, he brings her back to his apartment, where he introduces her to his friends and models, Flo Melville, Win Cahoon, Larry Foster, Scott Colton, Angel Annie, Mary Russell, and the Senator, Raymond Walburn. Now, Steve takes a picture of Kay for one of his advertising ideas in exchange for some clothes for her to wear home. Then, the next day, it is revealed that another photographer, Philip Morgan, had been murdered, and that it was his apartment Kay had been leaving the night before. Now, Kay comes back to Steve, hoping to have him pose as her fiancé in the hopes of providing herself an alibi. He is reluctant to do so, but he goes along with it when the police arrive. However, the two find themselves hounded by Philip's brother, racketeer Rusty Morgan, Mark Lawrence, who wants to find his brother's murderer. In return for Steve's help, Kay turns to her friend Rodney Hunter, Leon Ames, to help get Steve a job in the advertising department at International Chromium Corporation. She helps Steve try to take some photos to help him get the job, but he still loses out when one of his models, Larry Foster, is found murdered, and the police question Steve about it. Now, while they have been falling for each other all this time, Kay and Steve still find themselves at odds. Can they come together and see this murder solved? Now, as I said in my quick intro, this is a movie that, upon seeing its title or original poster, you would probably be thinking it would be a murder mystery or film noir, but it isn't. Now, before the recent Blu-ray release, I hadn't even heard of this movie, so when it was announced, I looked it up to read a little about it. The moment I saw the movie described as being a screwball, I knew I wanted to see it. Especially now during this pandemic, comedies appeal so much more to me than dramas. Maybe not as much as musicals, but I'll still take a good comedy when given the opportunity. So, in that regard, the movie did its job. It's not going to be remembered for its mystery, which is barely there, with the main connection being the constantly intruding, or maybe I should borrow his mispronunciation and say protruding, Detective Henderson, as played by Gene Morgan. I mean, the murder does get solved in the end, but it almost seems to come from nowhere, especially since the two main characters are not actively trying to solve it. Well, like I said, though, the comedy worked. I know I enjoyed watching actor Raymond Walburn as the Senator, so named because of his eloquence and not because of an actual job title. Now, Richard Arlen's character's habit of dramatizing for his photographs, or when the police are snooping around, is also a lot of fun. And I guarantee I'm going to remember the scene in the department store for quite a while. And that's all I'm going to say on that one. So, again, watching this movie is all about managing your expectations. If you're looking for a film noir or a good murder mystery based on the title, you will be disappointed. However, if you're looking for a good comedy, then there's certainly a possibility of being able to enjoy it. I liked it, and for that reason, I would indeed recommend it. This movie is available on Blu-ray from Sony Pictures Home Entertainment through their manufacture-on-demand line. Now, as far as the transfer goes, this movie looks and sounds fantastic. In that regard, I couldn't ask for better. This release is bare bones with no extras or menus, which, as far as I'm concerned, is fine. The only complaint I have, and it is a minor one, but it's a lack of subtitles. As I said, the audio is good, and I can understand everything clearly here. But I am young yet, and not all their audience for this release will still have the ability to hear clearly. I understand that to have subtitles certainly costs money, especially for a movie like this one that has no prior release on home video like DVD where they would have been done. But I know that Warner Archive Collection, which is Warner Brothers' manufacture-on-demand division, has subtitles on all their Blu-ray releases that I've seen so far, whether they are upgrades of titles that Warner Home Video put out on DVD that had subtitles, or upgrades of Warner Archive DVD releases which had no subtitles, or titles that just made the jump straight to Blu-ray and came with subtitles. I mean, all the Warner Archive releases cost less to consumers as well. So, I mean, if Sony's manufacturer on demand division can change that and add subtitles on the releases that are just coming out on the format without no prior release, then they're heading in the right direction. But either way, I still recommend this release if this movie appeals to you. And the movie is 1 hour and 8 minutes in length. Well, that should be all I have to say on this one, everybody. So thanks for listening, and I hope you'll keep tuning in for more.